The rain has just cleared up here. The sun is rising. I've got rainbows behind me. It is a fantastic day to check out a very interesting club. Today, we're looking at the Oximity Driver. Now, this driver is offset. If you look at that pretty crazy design, similar to what you see in irons. We see offset designs in irons quite a bit, but I don't think I've ever seen it quite like this in a driver. Not to say it doesn't exist. There are offset drivers. Cobra has put out one, but this one to me is the most extreme looking offset in any driver. Now, why would you want offset in a golf club to begin with? Well, first of all, it gets your hands ahead of the ball. Generally, this is going to promote squaring the face a little bit better, and it's going to promote a higher trajectory. If you look at modern iron designs, oftentimes the set is progressively offset, meaning at the 3, 4, 5 irons, you're going to get a lot more offset than you would get at the 8, 9 pitching wedge, that sort of thing. The reason that is because the less lofted the club, the more you'll need that offset in order to get the ball higher up in the air quicker. It's easier to do with the lower irons. Now, the struggle that most amateur golfers have, especially the higher handicappers, the beginners, they struggle with slices. And if you go on Instagram, you'll get video after video about how to cure a slice. This club's aim, and that's literally the term they use, their aim is to prevent those slices and to make it easier for you, those of you who are playing offset irons, to not have to adjust for each club. Their philosophy is that if you've got offset in the irons, why not have it in the driver? And you know, the logic seems to make sense. Let's quickly talk about the history of offset clubs. I thought they were actually invented by Ping, but that's not the case. They were popularized by Ping in the 1960s, but Willie Smith back in the 1800s came up with the idea of offsetting golf clubs to again help golfers straighten out those shots, especially high handicappers who tend to push it right. That's not everybody, but that is the normal miss for most higher handicappers and newbies out there. So it's an idea that's been around for a long time, but again, never seen it to the extreme as we're seeing here in this particular driver. It's going to be fun to find out what this thing can do. Here is the driver. As you can see, it comes with a fairly nice head cover here. It's decent quality. It's like not leathery, it's more like waterproofed, which is probably good because it's been drizzling on me here up until this point this morning. There's the driver. Look at that offset. That is extreme. And any other offset driver I've ever seen doesn't look quite as extreme as this one, that's for sure. So it's going to be visually jarring for most people who have never experienced this. Let's go ahead and rip the plastic off. The best feeling in golf right there. So there you have it. Now, behind this face is a honeycomb pattern, which they say is the strength of nature. They're saying nature does it right. They engineer things properly, and that is one of the strongest structures in nature. Very interesting. Now you can see I've got a 10.5 driver. We've got 2 adjustable weights here. You can swap these if you want lower spin, lower trajectory. If you want higher spin, higher trajectory, you can swap these 2. They're interchangeable. Apart from that, no other adjustability. The hosel is fixed to this club. They come with custom shafts here, Hayashi shafts. And after I hit this shot, I'll tell you a little bit more about this particular shaft. All right, first swing here with the Oximity. I don't want to do any measurements yet. We'll do that in just a second. I just want to see if I can actually hit this thing straight and see what it does. Now, my struggle personally is not a slice, but for a lot of amateurs it is. My struggle is actually a hook. So it's going to be actually interesting to see what happens here. Looking down at this, this is visually jarring. You've got this interesting alignment line, which is their logo. It's a bull. I'm not sure I love that, to be quite honest with you, because it's hard to see exactly where exact center is, although I assume it's the tip of the horn, but it looks strange. We'll see what happens. This is a dog leg left, so I wouldn't mind a little draw on it. That was a complete hook. I hit a tree. It literally landed in the tee box in front of me. Like I said, I don't struggle with a fade though, personally, in my game. So let's see if we can straighten this thing out. I'm gonna hit another shot. Interesting sound coming off that driver as well. I'm gonna aim much more severely to the right here. I'm gonna take a little slower swing as well. Maybe play this up on my front foot a bit too. Let's see. That turned around the corner really nicely. I'll tell you what, coming off the face, that seemed extremely hot. Now you're probably asking, is this club conforming? That was my first question when I saw it. They say it is. And of course, that's very important to a lot of golfers. They don't want to be playing something out here that they can't use in a tournament or in a competition. So yes, USGA RNA conforming, that's good. Now, let's get back to that shaft, right? The Hayashi shaft. This is a niche brand, and I'll be honest, I've never tried this shaft before. Of course, we're gonna get a good feel for it here today, but it's an interesting choice for a golf brand, especially a new golf brand creating a driver. Much easier to go with something that's more established, that's more of a stock offering. They went with something that is much more custom, and of course that's going to raise the price quite a bit. $549 is what this driver is retailing for, so they are not going bottom of the barrel here. They're going more towards the top end of the market, which leads me to believe they really believe in this technology. But we'll see if I'm a believer here. Let's go ahead and break out my Garmin G80. We're gonna get some launch data, and we're gonna start measuring some shots. Take it for what it's worth, but this one was dead down the middle. This is 260, 265 territory here, dead middle of the fairway. So I'm gonna be really interested to see what the Garmin says here on the next hole. Of course, I chose a very difficult, tight driving hole, a dogleg right, and we wanna not really fade the ball here, but hey, it's review time. That is high, I will say that. Very loud sound. Reminiscent to me of like a Japanese driver sound, and I have a feeling with the Hayashi shaft here, there's some Japanese influence in this club for sure. Club head speed was 101, ball speed was 145, smash 143, estimated carry 230. Now, by moving the ball up in my stance considerably and opening up my stance, taking what would be more of a fade swing for me, that's how I'm able to straighten this one out. Like I said, my struggle is not the slice. So this is difficult for me to test, but we got it there, that was nice. That one was pulled. I wasn't able to get my swing path correct there. Club head speed 101, ball speed 145, smash 143, estimated carry 230. That's the exact same number, isn't it? That's crazy. My swing path was the only difference there. Let's see if we can, again, fix that. Now that was more of a gentle little draw to it. It's coming off that face hot. I think that's gonna actually be in the rough because this is a dogleg right and we're gonna run out of room there. But club head speed 102, ball speed 145, smash 142, estimated carry 231. So yeah, sound-wise, very tingy, very loud. In terms of feel though, feels really good. Sometimes you get that tingy sound, you wanna think you're gonna get a very firm, hard feel, but this isn't. This is more of a compressed, buttery feel. In terms of visuals, the aesthetics of this driver, again, bizarre. But the thing I liked was how hot it seemed to come off that face. And I wasn't taking a huge cut there, and those ball speed numbers were pretty decent. So in terms of efficiency, that honeycomb pattern may in fact be working. Let's see exactly how far they landed though. All right, total distance here. This is off the fairway. This is the one that we went right through the fairway into the rough. And we are here at 246 in the rough. Over the cart path even. I do have a shot out of here, luckily. But what happened is we came right over this hill and landed here. I did really like the peak height I was seeing out of this one. In terms of distance, 236 is what we've got here, right center of the fairway, probably about 140 out. So honestly, didn't blow my socks off there with the distance, but my swing speed was down a bit there. And of course, I'm changing my swing path, adding more spin, all sorts of things happening. I did love that nice high trajectory though. Couple things working against us on this hole for distance as well. It's a little damp, it's a little dewy, a little wind in our face. So we're gonna go to a different section of this course here where we're turned around, get a little wind behind us and see what this thing can do.
Speaking of wet, sloppy conditions, Florida golf courses can do some truly awful things to golf shoes. So I wanna give a big thanks to today's sponsor, Shank Juice. It's a product I've been using to help me keep my golf shoes somewhat presentable this summer. It's a super easy product to use. It comes in this nice pouch with everything you need. Literally what you're gonna do is pump out some of the foam right onto your shoe. Take the included horsehair brush and scrub down real good. Make sure to get into all those cracks and crevices. It seems like golf shoes have more of those than any other type of shoe, by the way. Just absolutely crazy. Scrub it real good. And use the included microfiber towel to dry them off. Then you can take it a step further. They include these nice cedar-filled pouches so your shoes are smelling nice. I pop those in. I put the shoes outside to dry for about 30 minutes. And after that, my shoes are pristine and ready for my afternoon rounds. Shank Juice is an awesome product, very affordable, and I love that it comes in that pouch. I can literally just keep it in my golf bag. Before I had this, my shoes looked absolutely pitiful, but these days I'm looking half decent out there. I'm gonna leave a link down below so you can check out Shank Juice for yourself. Highly recommend you do, because because even if you don't play well, you'll at least look good.
All right, here we go. This is a dog leg left. So again, kind of a hole that suits this driver, at least with my particular swing, which is gonna be a little bit more neutral or a little bit more draw biased anyways. But again, I'm gonna do my best here to make some adjustments and see what we can get here out of the Oximity. There we go. Now we're starting to dial it in. Club speed 104, ball speed 147, smash 141, estimated carry 235. Now that one, I did not make my adjustment. I hit that one off the toe and it snapped on me. The club head speed was 106, ball speed was 151, smash 143, and the estimated carry 247. Would have had really low spin for sure with that particular type of shot. Let me get back to my adjusted swing here. That's a good looking one. We'll see if it hits left side fairway. It could be left rough, but it's not bad in terms of an angle for this hole. Club head speed 103, ball speed 147, smash 142. And the estimated carry there was 235. I'll tell you what, visually, it is very hot looking off the face. And in terms of the ball speed numbers, pretty impressive numbers, honestly. Right up there with some of the bigger name brands for sure. But I love to be outdoors. Launch data is one thing, but real life is another. So let's find out exactly how far these ones flew. All right, so with the wind behind us, we definitely picked up a little more distance here. 259 is the number. That's pretty darn good. A lot of dirt on that ball too, so probably lost a little rollout. Right side of the fairway. This one's over here on the left side of the fairway. 262, that's a good number there. Third one buried in the rough here, but it's 253 left side here. All in all, I'd say very good for distance. Very good, and it makes sense seeing it so hot coming off that face. Now, I got 2 out of 3 fairways there. That is a win in my book for, again, a club that's not necessarily suited for me. This is more of a high handicap driver for sure. So I'm successfully making the right adjustment here. Let's test something else here next. We're gonna test out workability. Now, when it comes to workability, an offset club, by the way, is not really meant to be worked. It's meant to go straight. It's meant to square the club face up and go as straight as possible. So this is not a feature of this driver that they're promoting in any way, shape, or form, but it is one that I always test because I think, you know, in order to play golf the right way, you got to be able to shape your shots a little bit. Course designers create holes to be played a specific way, and you're going to score better golf if you can move the ball a little more left and right. All right, what I'm going to try to do here, and this is going to be very difficult, I think, with this driver, but set up for a fade. So I've really got to exaggerate everything even more than I have been in order to do so. But let's see if we can get some workability out of this driver. Very, very straight. Extremely straight. That's going to be right center of the fairway. And again, maybe not exactly a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing for the higher handicappers. One more here. Again, just a gentle little buttercut there. Not even a buttercut, it was pretty straight. But as I mentioned, it is a criteria that we always test for here on Let's Play Through. So I had to put it to the test here. I'm gonna have one more crack at this driver, and then I'm gonna give you my opinion, ranking this club and giving it a score. Super, super high. Now I've gotta say, if this was my normal driver, that would have been in the woods. That's how bad that swing was. I was really late. And that's exactly the swing amateurs often make. Club head speed was 104, ball speed was 144, the smash was 138. It was down because I hit it off the toe there, and 229 was the number. One more swing. There it is, again, super high trajectory coming off a little low off the face on that one. My club head speed was 106, the ball speed was 146. My smash was 138, again, low hit. Estimated carry 233, let's go find it. All right, here we are, middle of the fairway, 240. Again, that was a low hit off the bottom of the club face there. Just like most modern drivers, this driver seemed to do better off a toe strike here. And we squeaked down a little bit more distance. We are in a bunker, so of course we got less rollout. We weren't too far off the fairway, to be quite honest with you. I'd say about 8 yards from the fairway, so it wasn't a horrible hit, but we are in the bunker, 254. As you know, I like to rank clubs on 5 criteria. Distance is number 1, and I'll say distance. After the first couple swings, I was a little unsure of, but on that second test, I was seeing what I wanted to see, and there, for where I hit it on the club face, pretty darn good. I'm gonna say pretty ample distance with this one, 4 out of 5. In terms of forgiveness, well, it's kind of a dead straight bullet of a driver, other than those couple of shots where I just didn't have my swing path correct for this type of club. Apart from that, everything was like a dead straight missile. Workability is going to suffer. That's a whole nother grading criteria, but in terms of forgiveness, I'm giving it a full 5 out of 5. Now in terms of workability, again, this club's going to break down in that department, but it's not meant for workability, but I score it. So we're going to give it a 2 out of 5 for workability. In terms of aesthetics, looks, feel, sound, this is where I thought it really performed well in a couple of these categories. In terms of looks, most direct-to-consumer drivers look cheap. This one doesn't. This one looks a little bit more premium, especially looking down at it. Again, crazy looks aside, the materials that are used, the finishings that are used, it is pretty good. In terms of feel, again, very good. I would give that a 5 out of 5 if I was just scoring on feel. Now, sound is not my preference. It's a preference of a different market. Over in Asia, they love loud, high-pitched drivers. Not me. I like them low and thuddy. So to my particular ears, and this is very subjective, I'd be more like a 1 or 2 out of 5 if it was just sound. But all in all, in terms of aesthetics, I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. I thought the looks were really good. Now, in terms of value, this is another interesting category. And I start to wonder, if they would have put a different shaft on this, could they got the price down if they went with a more stock offering, you know, one of the lower end Ventus shafts or hazardous shafts, something that we see in a lot of the big names? Could they have gotten the price lower, maybe $350, something like that? They opted for a more boutique high-end shaft here, and of course that raises the price, and at $549, it is a touch down from the big dogs, the top 5 brands out there that are releasing $600, $650 drivers nowadays. But the price point I would have liked to see just a little bit lower. Now, of course, you are getting a very specific club to fix a very specific swing fault. All in all, I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 for value. Here on your screen is the score. Now, again, I don't know if this is indicative of all golfers out there, and I think there's a very specific use case for this club. If you are getting up there in age, let's say you've hit your mid-70s, 80s, you need to get more height on the ball, your swing speed has come down, and maybe you're struggling with just getting your body through the ball, this would be a club that I would absolutely recommend for you. But if you're a younger player, if you're a lower handicapper, of course, this club is not going to be meant for you in any way, shape, or form. So the score here that you see, maybe not indicative of the entire audience of this show, but I think if you're a high handicapper, you struggle with a slice, this could be a fix for you. If you are a mid to lower handicap and you're really working on improving your ball striking, probably not going to be the club for you in this particular case. But either way, I had a ton of fun with this one. I think it's a very interesting release, and I like that they took a chance here at Oximity Golf. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this type of design. Could you ever see yourself putting it in your bag? I would love to know. What do you think of the price point? All of these things are in some ways subjective, so I think your opinion is just as useful as mine. Let me know down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe, and I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play